Hello, everybody out there in the paintball world. This is Cesar Pizzo at lonewolfpaintball.com, and I'm going to show you how to install the Lazarus valve in your autococker. Basically, the Lazarus valve is a 11/16 valve body, so you can only do it to meteor guns, inception guns, anything that has 11/16 valve body. The old Wargame Products bodies were all 9/16. So you'll have to get that machined out. If you want to get it machined out, we could do that for you. I have a local machine shop that will do it for me. And then you can have the Lazarus valve installed. There's other people out in the industry that are doing it as well. But, you know, I've been doing this for 30 years. I know the ins and outs of all the cockers. So basically what you're doing is your traditional valve bodies have the mainspring on the back of the cup seal. What the Lazarus done is contain the whole system all in one piece with the cup seal, the spring all inside the valve body, made it a larger air chamber and everything, etc. Basically, I'm going to show you how I disassemble this whole gun and then put it in. And the meteor bodies, it's easier to do because I can pull everything from the front side. Don't have to pull the hammer out or any of that stuff. And I'll show you how to do that a little bit easier as I'm doing this one. This particular supercocker already has a Lazarus valve installed in it, but I'm still going to show you how to pull it out, put it back in, same thing. So Mark, are you focused in on this?
I am. What I don't know is why would I want a Lazarus valve in my autococker?
Allowing the operating pressure to drop. So in theory, all cockers, they used to run 350, 400 PSI, 300 PSI, wherever you wanted to set it for, and then you did all your main adjustments through the back spring tension. With the Lazarus valve, you can make all the fine adjustments through your regulator. Basically, what you're doing is you're dropping the gun 50 to 100 PSI lower. So first things first, make sure that, you know, obviously there's no air left in the gun. So you want to drop the frame, take the regulator off. So I'm going to take the regulator off, and then I'm going to drop the frame. If I'm out of focus, Mark, just let me know.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
So you're going to pull out the front screw, then your back frame screw. And did I put this too tight? I believe I did.
It's only too tight for a weaker man.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. All right. So basically the good thing about the meteor guns is that I can disassemble this coming out in the forward position since this front screw is already out. Pull the bolts out. All right. So now that I have the red air chamber front screw out and the frame screw out, I can take and pull out the whole air chamber out with the front block. Since I have the stem is going to stick with the on the three-way side. Boom. So, and then I can pull this off. Now I'm able to pivot this since if I have it to where it's everything else off of it. All right, well, I went and got an Allen wrench to break loose the back of the frame. I didn't think it was as tight as this. So there we go. Now that broke loose, used my ball. You know what? Just make sure you have all the tools in front of you. All right. So basically, on any traditional other autocockers, everything has to come out this way. So if you're going to pull the hammer out anytime and you don't want to mess up your timing, if you want to just take an Allen wrench and check the depth of your actual lug and then just put a marking on it to where it touches the Allen wrench, and then you can at least, if you take and go like this and you know exactly how depth it is, that's just an easy way to put the lug back in place and get the timing as close as possible to where you were originally. So to pull the valves out, you got to tilt the valve plug out. Unscrew the valve plug. So again, on the Meteor one, I can bring everything forward since I have no front air chamber. This whole air chamber here is already 11/16 all the way through. So, and then what you're doing is you're pushing everything this way. So, ooh, that hurts. All right. So, pull the valve out. See, this one here has the Lazarus valve already installed in it. So basically, then when you want to back and install it, this air port has to be pointing to the position of the airflow up. This is the bottom for the plug. And also remember that all your valve plugs, they need to be the shorter valve plug with a cone on it so it can fit inside the pocket to seal. These pockets here are a little bit smaller than your traditional autococker valve bodies because this set screw fits in there completely solid. So what I would recommend you doing is taking and putting a point on your plug or buying a shorter one so when it recesses, it goes inside there. The point itself is so it can go inside the cavity and lock this in from rocking. So when you put this in, grease it. Make sure that you got enough grease on this. Make sure that this is nice and tight. You can put a wrench right here on this flat and your Allen wrench on this side to make sure that this thing here is not loose, and you lock it down. And then that's actually how you service these when you want to, if you need to service it or anything like that. And the other thing I would recommend doing is before you put it in your gun, take it apart, grease this front O-ring, and then put it back together. So this way you have on the aluminum body and the O-ring, you have a little bit of grease so when it's cycling back and forth, it's not dry. Put your cone back together. Allen wrench on the back side, on the flats. Boom. Done. So when you install this, brass piece forward, blue cone back. The plug retaining hole has to be right here.
Is there a groove or something to make sure it doesn't rotate when you push it back in?
Well, basically what you're doing is you're lining it up.
Ah, you should be able to see it line up. Okay.
So basically what you're doing is you're lining it up. So you see that?
Yep.
And then you take your valve plug and you go ahead and screw it right into it. What it's going to do with the cone, when it's coned like that, it's going to take the valve and center it up. So this way the valve is centered up and then you have airflow going up to the upper air chamber. So that's the difference between you see how the difference in the smaller hole and the big hole? Mm-hmm. So it does is it locks the valve body so it's going straight up for air. So on these bodies, like I said, you have to get the air chamber lined up. So basically my air chamber is already lined up with the holes. You lock it in, put the vertical bottle adapter in first, take the screw that holds the air chamber and vertical bottle adapter together, metric. Boom, that's locked in. Now you can put your block in and your bolt so it stabilizes your back block. Since I didn't take anything out from the back, I can just go ahead and put everything back in the way it was. So now that this is back in, I can go ahead and put my frame on. Front screw, the long one for the meteor, goes right through the air chamber. The back one for the back of the body. So what it's doing is holding the frame down and screwing it into the air chamber to lock it in. So that's how the frame is held in, is through the red air chamber on these guns. Now, I put my beaver tail back on. So basically, that is everything in a nutshell on how to do it on a Meteor gun. Again, on the War Games guns, those are all 9/16 valves. You have to machine the air chamber out to take the 11/16 Lazarus valve. It's the only way it's going to work. You have to have an 11/16 air chamber size. And that's it. That's basically everything in a nutshell. I don't have a tank here to test it, but I would physically put your operating pressure at 200 PSI and see what your velocity is at before messing with anything back here, and then adjust your velocity from here, bring it up. You should be able to run this body, this gun, around 200, 225 PSI. So
there you go. And
that's
these
it.
valves are available at the best source for paintball,
LoneWolfPaintball.com.
See ya.